Hey guys, Uncle John from UncleJohnSoap.com. Wanted to talk to you for a second today. This question comes up every so often, either in the shop or somebody will contact me through the website. I'll see it posted on Facebook. Why are handmade soaps so expensive? That's ridiculous. I can get, 3 to 5 bars at the big store for the price of 1 bar of your soap. I'd like to try to answer that the best way I can, and hopefully this will make sense to you. And I'm not trying to convert anybody, but I'd like you to understand why our prices are the way they are. Anything that's expensive, it's all a matter of perception and perceived value. Just like an artist with a painting, that painting can be reproduced thousands of times, and those prints will cost a fraction of what the original painting costs. Would you rather pay a little more for the artist's rendition, the original painting, or are you just looking for the picture? It all depends on what you want. But to get back to the question of why are our soaps so expensive, one, and pardon me, I wrote a few things down just to hopefully keep myself straight. We're artisans. We make small batches of soap. We don't mass produce. We can only afford to buy in small quantities as opposed to the larger companies. So there's part of it. They're buying in tractor trailer or train car loads products that, A, we're never going to buy those products, but we're never going to buy that quantity. The other thing is the types of products that they're using. Most of the commercial bar soaps are not really soap. And the ones that are sort of soap, they're still using a ton of fillers and synthetic foaming agents and things like that. And it's easier for a machine to make those, so they're cranking out a lot per hour of a cheap product over and over and over again. If that's all you want, that's great. Go for it. I will say this, that when you're done using a bar of their soap as compared to somebody who's made it by hand with natural oils and no fillers, you tend to need lotion more. Why is that? Well, they go through a process of removing the glycerin. Use the glycerin in different products, lotions, creams, salves, you name it. When you make soap by hand, and this is why it tends to be just a little softer, and 2 reasons. 1, it's not machine pressed, and 2, because you're using the natural oils and a traditional process to make it. Cold process is what I use. Hot process isn't much different. And the glycerin that's produced by the actual chemical reaction in the soap, the oils and the alkali, creates glycerin as a byproduct. Well, the way we make it, it's still in the soap when you buy it. So therefore, when you use a natural handmade soap, you very rarely need an extra lotion or anything like that after you're done bathing or washing your hands. It tends to dry less. Some of them can be conditioning. It takes us more time to make it because we're making it in a traditional fashion. A lot of people like the fact that I take my time with my own 2 hands to make each batch of soap. And they're small batches. Here. This is a soap mold. That's 24 bars of soap when I'm done cutting it. That's a batch. And I can make that over and over, but it's still made by hand, so there's more labor involved and a little more creativity. And if you're not into creativity, prices, material prices. We talked about volume, big companies buying huge volumes, little guy buying small volumes. That's one reason that it's more expensive for us. But the other thing is, have you priced olive oil? I mean, seriously, price it. Go to even Sam's Club, Costco, and look at what you're paying per liter, per ounce, whatever. I dare you to go and find a wholesale price that's any better than even those prices. And anybody that's making a true olive oil soap is going to pay about those same prices. They'll get a discount if they buy a train car load of it. But who's going to do that? Same way. It's expensive. Whether it's organic or traditionally grown and processed. Palm oil, even soy is not that cheap. It's cheaper. And it takes combinations of different oils to make a quality bar soap. You're also paying for knowledge. You're paying for somebody who's researched and studied and experimented and wasted hours upon hours trying to perfect their soap recipes. And each one of us is unique in our soap recipe and the process that we use. You know, some of the stuff's the same across the board, but then we all have our own little tweaks. Just like the guy building a dining room table for you. That's a custom piece. He can produce, mass produce stuff, but why? You know, you're paying him to give you something unique. And that's kind of what we do. I mean, I don't know if we're technically artists, but in a true sense, but what we do is quality work in small batches to ensure that you get the best bar of soap that you can get. We have to eat just like the other guy does. And I don't have factory workers, bookkeepers, and everything else doing everything for me. I do it all. From, you know, making soap. If the place needs a coat of paint, I paint it. If the toilet needs cleaning, I clean it. I do it all. I have bills to pay. I have a mortgage. I have kids. I have vehicles to maintain. But one thing to think about when you're only comparing prices is, where is your money going that you're spending for those other soaps? Where are they made? What does it cost monetarily, environmentally to get those products to market? Where is that money being spent? When you spend with a local business, whether they make a product or just sell products, a mom and pop shop, most of that money is spent right back in your own community. So think about that too. It's not just about the short term, yeah, I can get this soap for $1. Well, you can't get this soap for $1, but you can get something that'll clean your hands, clean your body, and then you crack open that $12 bottle of lotion and go through how much of that. It's your choice, but at least now you know why it's so expensive. And that's a relative term. I hate saying that because to me it's not. How many of you will run out, I don't care if it's Starbucks or the local barista that opened up his own shop, how many of you will run out and spend $4 to $7 on a cup of coffee every morning? How many of you do that several times a day? A cup of coffee, something that lasts you maybe 20 minutes, half hour. A good caffeine buzz, maybe an hour. Okay, you'll spend 5 to 7 on something like that, but a $5 bar of soap is too expensive. Think that through for a minute. Chew on that for a minute. That makes no sense. But a bar of soap's going to last the average person, actually the average family, more than a week. I mean, I've got 7 kids and I can make a bar of soap last more than a week in my shower. So what are you comparing it to when you say it's too expensive? Something else. A lot of the places that are making these other products that you can get for $1 or whatever the price is that's below ours, they're not paying their workers fair wages. You know, they work in deplorable working environments. They don't make a fair wage. They can't pay their bills. They're living in poverty, making your products for you. Like I said, I work pretty much alone. I'm a small business. But when I do have help, I pay my help a fair wage for a fair amount of work. All right, guys. Have fun, and maybe we'll try to do another how-to later this week. All right, guys. See ya.